Hello my dear students, myself Amit Upadhyay and I am back again with your favorite subject English. So today we are going to start a very fresh and new unit, that is unit number 2. And what is the name of our unit? Wit and Humour. So what is the meaning of wit and humour? Wit and humour means something very funny. So every time we want to be happy in our life, and what is the thing that makes us happy? To have some fruitful moments with our friends, cracking some jokes, having a funny conversation, or watching a funny incident and laughing it with our all energy. So this is what humor gives us. So this is very nice unit that we are going to see, and let us start without wasting our time. So on the very first page, what do you see? We see that there is a rat and he is just showing the pistol to the cat, like he is warning the cat that don't come near me. So isn't it funny that a rat is trying to threaten a cat with the help of a gun? A cat is quite stronger than a rat, but in this situation it looks like the cat is afraid and she is about to surrender in front of the rat as he is having a gun with him. So this is a quite funny picture. Now what do you understand from the picture? The first question says, so it shows that the cat has came to hunt the rat, and what the rat has did, he has taken out his gun. Halt, don't come to me, otherwise I'll shoot you. And it looks like the cat has become afraid and she surrenders in front of her. No, don't shoot me like that. So that was the situation, the picture. So here in this picture it looks like the rat is trying to threaten the cat, and the cat is afraid and she has surrendered to the rat. Can you recall anything comic associated with these animals? Do you remember the famous cartoon series Tom and Jerry, where Tom is a cat and Jerry is a clever rat? So their chasing games and all the tricks that has been followed by the cat Tom to trap rat, and rat uses those tricks against the Tom itself. So it's quite funny watching such kind of cartoons over there. So yeah, that reminds us of Tom and Jerry cartoon series that we look often on maybe on Cartoon Network or Disney somewhere. I think you know it very well. So can you imagine what may be the conversation between the rat and the cat? So if you can imagine that the rat might have told that, stand there cat, don't you dare to come to me, otherwise I'll shoot you. No, don't shoot me, I'm ready to surrender, I'll not harm you, please put that gun down, please put that gun down. So such kind of conversation might have taken place between the rat and the cat, as the cat looks afraid and the rat has been threatening the cat. So like that might be the conversation. How do people differ in enjoying humor? Young and old, rural and urban, literates and illiterates. So here this is very important question. So my children, there is a very difference from people to people, that how do they take anything as a humor or as a serious thing. One thing which is joke for one person, that might be a serious thing for the other. At the same time, the level of understanding of a joke, that is the sense of humor, is also different from people to people, from age to age, and from the literate to an illiterate person. If you tell a joke which tells the terms which is not understandable by a person who is illiterate person, then it is just like an ununderstandable statement for him. But for a literate person, it is a stomach aching joke. So it depends on the person to person that he or she will take the situation or the thing as a joke or not. So now let us come to our topic, and today we will be looking at one act play, The Dear Departed Part 1. So first of all, we need to know what is the one act play. So in nowadays we don't see much plays and dramas happening in the stage, but in some cultural programs on the national festivals and on other festivals, when we celebrate those festivals in our school, you might have prepared one skit, you might have prepared one play to perform on the stage. So when the play is something which we perform on the stage and choosing playing different characters. So if in any play the whole story is taking place in the one set, in the one scene only, then it is called one act play. But if the play is having different destinations and different sets, then it is not one act play. So here the whole play will be taken place at one place only. So that is why it is called one act play. So The Dear Departed. Departed means the person who has passed away, who is dead. So this is a funny play and you will be enjoying it. So first of all, we need to see who are the characters of this play. So here the characters of the play are Mrs. Amelia Slater, and Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan. They both are sisters. And Henry Slater and Ben Jordan. And Ben Jordan, who are the husbands of these two sisters. So Henry Slater is husband of Amelia Slater and Ben Jordan is husband of Elizabeth Jordan. So these are the four characters, and these are four main characters. And who else is there? One more character is, we have Victoria Slater, daughter of Amelia. Who is Amelia's daughter? Who is 10 years old. And Abel Meriwether, who is the father of Amelia and Elizabeth. So Amelia and Elizabeth's father is Abel Meriwether. Now, these are the characters of our play. Mrs. Amelia Slater, Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan, who are sisters, and Henry Slater and Ben Jordan, who are the husbands of Mrs. Amelia Slater and Elizabeth Jordan respectively. Victoria Slater is the daughter of Amelia, and Abel Meriwether is the father of these two sisters in the play. Now, let us see the scene where the play is being set up. So here, when the curtain rises means when the play is performed, the scene opens with the curtain raises. So here, it is telling about the scene, how it will be performed on the stage. When the curtain rises, Mrs. Slatter is seen laying the table. She is vigorous, plump, red-faced, vulgar woman prepared to do any amount of straight talking to get her own way. She is black. She goes to the window, opens it and calls into the street. So here, what is the situation over here? The appearance of Amelia Slaughter. So what is she doing? She is preparing the table, and she is a plump and red-faced woman. So she is very straightforward lady, and she is black, and she goes to window and opens it and calls into the street. So let us see to whom she calls. Mrs. Slatter, sharply. So when we shout to call someone, so this tone comes. Victoria, Victoria, do you hear? Come in, will you? So here, Mrs. Slatter is calling her daughter, Victoria. So, Mrs. Slatter, I am amazed at you, Victoria. I really am. Be off now and change your dress before Aunt Elizabeth and your Uncle Ben come. It would never do for them to find you colors with grandfather lying dead upstairs. So, Victoria comes into the stage. She enters and her mother says to him that go and change your clothes, as their uncle and aunt are coming and they need to see that they are very sad as their grandfather has passed away. So as the Victoria was dressed in a colorful dress, so her mother says to her that go and wear something very faded so that it doesn't look like we are celebrating the death of our father. So yeah, Victoria says, what are they coming for? They haven't been here for ages. Victoria didn't know that what was happening over here. So she was asking that, why mama, why uncle and aunt are coming? Because it is being so long time that they have not visited us. So what is that thing that made us to come here? She didn't know that her grandfather is dead. So now Mrs. Slatter says that they are coming to talk over poor grandfather's affairs. Your father sent them a telegram soon as we found he was dead. Now Amelia is telling to his daughter that actually your grandfather has been found dead. So we have sent your uncle and aunt a telegram so that we can talk about your grandfather's affairs and we can divide whatever the properties he has equally. So here what it shows, that they do not have any sadness or any pain of the loss of his father, but instead they were very eager to divide their property. Such thing is happening in this house, and let us see what happens after that. So, a noise is heard. Henry Slatter, a stopping heavy man with the drooping moustache, enters. So, how is the appearance of Henry Slatter? He is a fat man with the drooping moustache. He enters and he is wearing a black tailcoat. So, grey trousers and black tie and bowler hat. So bowler hat means a round hat, and he is wearing a black tailcoat, grey trousers and black and red black tie. Now Henry enters and he says that I'm wondering if they'll come at all. When you and Elizabeth quarreled, she said she'd never set foot in your house again. So Henry comes in and he says that if Elizabeth and you again, you will fight again among yourself, then they will not come here again ever. So they used to fight, both sisters used to fight each other earlier. So that was his first thing, that she wanted to be clear that they are not going to have a fight, then only she will be coming. Mrs. Slater, she will come fast enough after her share of what our fathers left. You know how hard she came. She can be, she likes. Where she gets it from, I can't tell. So they say that if she will be coming to the house, she doesn't want to come to house, but when she hears that the father is dead and we are going to divide the share of the property among them, then she will definitely come. She is very greedy, and how that attitude has came to her, even I don't know. So next, what happens? Mrs. Slater said all these things for her sister. She knew that both of them had the same nature, although they fought among each other, but still they shared the same attitude with each other, and they both did not have any sadness of loss of their father. Now let us see what happens after that. Henry, I suppose it's in the family. Pause. Where are my slippers? So now Henry says that this is the part of our family, and he asks for the slippers. Mrs. Slater, in the kitchen, but you want a new pair. Those old ones are nearly worn out, nearly breaking down. You don't seem to realize that it's costing me to bear up like I'm doing. My heart's fit to break when I see the little trifles that belong to fathers lying around, and think he'll never use them again. Here, you'd better wear these slippers of my father's now. It's lucky he'd just got a new pair. So that's it for today, and okay, so we will continue, and let us see that she says to his father. Jordan continues and says that okay, there was not much sort of jewelry, but he has promised me that he will be giving that gold watch, and he has promised me to give it to our Jimmy. So Mrs. Slater says that, promised your Jimmy? I never heard of that. Now she is having an eye on that golden watch also. She is worried that if she takes that golden watch from her, then, so that's how in that tone she says to her that I didn't hear that when our father said that he will be giving that watch to Jimmy. Now Mrs. Jordan says that, oh, but he did, Amelia. When he was living with us, he was very fond of Jimmy. So he told that he has told me when you were not there, when he used to live with me, he told me that he will be giving it to Jimmy. So Mrs. Slater says that, well, I don't know. So Ben, he says that, anyhow, there is his insurance money. Have you got the receipt for the premium he paid this morning? So Ben says that, okay, whatever about that golden watch, but have you seen the receipt of the premium that the father has paid this morning? So Mrs. Slater says that, I have not seen. Victoria jumps up from the sofa and comes behind the table. Victoria, mother, I don't think grandpa went to pay his insurance this morning. So Victoria tells to her mother, after jumping and coming aside to the table, that mother, the grandpa has not gone to pay the insurance premium. Mrs. Slater, he went out. So Victoria says that, yes, but he didn't go into the town. He met old Mr. Tattersall down the street, and they went off past St. Philip's Church. Ben, do you think he hasn't paid it? Was it overdue? So he says that, she says that, yes mother, he did not went to pay the insurance premium, but instead he went to the church with his friend. So Ben is worried now. He is thinking that, oh my God, if that premium is unpaid, then so Mrs. Slater says that I should think it was overdue. Mrs. Slater says that okay, if they will think that it is overdue, they will not claim for it and all the insurance money will be ours. So she says that yeah, I think it was overdue, means I think it was yet to be paid. Mrs. Jordan says something tells me he is not paid it. So his sister Elizabeth also tells that yeah, I also think that it has not been paid. So Ben says that the drunken old beggar. Now how the slang of that person has changed suddenly. Earlier when they thought that he has paid the premium, they thought that they praised him like an honorable person. Now when it comes to know that he has not paid the insurance premium, his all respect came down to the word drunken old beggar. He was telling his father-in-law a poor drunken old beggar. See what is the moral the present generation is having and how the lack of respect for their elders is being shown in this lesson. So Mrs. Jordan, he's done it on purpose just to annoy us. So Elizabeth says that our father wanted to trouble us, that is why he didn't pay that insurance premium. So Mrs. Slater replies that after all I have done for him, having to put up with him in the house these 3 years, it's nothing short of swindling. Mrs. Jordan said that I had to put up with him for 5 years. So Mrs. Slater, the daughter of Mr. Weather, they were feeling that their father was like an extra burden for them. She says that I have took her burden for 3 years. Mrs. Jordan says that okay, you have took his burden for 3 years, but what about me? I have took his burden for 5 years. Like that means they are thinking their father being a burden on them. So Mrs. Slater says that, and you were trying to turn him over to us all the time. Henry says, but we don't know for certain that he is not paid the premium. So Mrs. Slater, that is Amelia, blames her sister that whenever the father used to live with you, you always used to tell the things against me so that all the property will be yours. So the Henry interrupts that, still we don't know whether he has paid the premium or not, we are not sure. Then Mrs. Slater, that is nothing but Amelia, she says that, Victoria, run upstairs and fetch that bunch of keys that's on your grandpa's dressing table. Now Mrs. Slater, that is Amelia, tells her daughter that go to upstairs and bring the bunch of keys that is kept on your grandfather's dressing table. Now Victoria, timidly in the grandpa's room, she says to her mother. Mrs. Slater orders her, yes, Victoria, I don't like it. As I told you that the Victoria did not want their uncle and aunt and her mother and father to just divide and take the things of her grandfather. So that's why she said like, I don't like it. Like to Mrs. Slater, don't talk so silly. There is no one who can hurt you. Victoria goes out reluctantly. Reluctantly means unwantedly, even though she didn't want it to, but she had to. So Mrs. Slater says to her that there is no one who will hurt you. So go there and bring the bunch of keys now. So we will see if he's locked the receipt up in the bureau. So they wanted to check that whether the slip was there in the bureau or not. So that's why they were calling for the slip that they were having. Now Ben says that in this thing he rises and examines it. So Ben says that, wow, this bureau, so he has kept that receipt in this bureau. You think that? Mrs. Jordan also rising, and where did you pick that up, Amelia? It's new since last I was here. So now the thing that they wanted to hide, now it came into the notice of Elizabeth and Ben, and now they were looking at the bureau eagerly, and they were saying like, wow, it's a new one. I have not seen it. When did the father purchase it? So there was like that thing happening. So Mrs. Slater said that, oh, Henry picked it up one day. Victoria returns very scared. She closes the door after her. Now she was afraid that if Henry will tell something silly before she comes, and she tries to cover it up by saying that, oh, Henry has brought it. But the truth was, the bureau belonged to the father. So instead of telling that the father has purchased it, she lied it, and she says that Henry has brought it quite soon. Victoria says that, mother, Mrs. Slater, what is it, child? Victoria says that grandpa's getting up. Ben, what? Mrs. Slater, what do you say? Victoria, grandpa's getting up. Mrs. Jordan says that the child's crazy. Mrs. Slater, don't talk so silly. Don't you know your grandpa is dead? Victoria, no, he's getting up. I saw him. They all transfixed with amazement. Victoria clings to Mr. Slater, and Ben suddenly hissed, listen. So now there is a turn in the story. There is a twist in the story. Till now they were thinking that we got to divide all the property of the father among us equally, and they were fighting about the small things. But there is a twist in the story. As Victoria goes up into the room of his grandfather, she is shocked, and she sees that his grandfather is waking up, and she comes down and she tells this thing to the mama and the uncle and aunt. But it's hard to believe that how a dead person can wake up. The next part of this story we will be discussing into the part 2 of this unit. Then what happens? They look at the door. A slight chuckling is heard from the upstairs. The door opens, revealing an old man clad in a faded but gay dressing gown. He is in his stockinged feet. Although over 70, he is vigorous and well colored. His bright, malicious eyes twinkle under his heavy reddish-grey eyebrows. He is obviously either the old man Abel Merriweather or else his ghost. Now there is a turning, there is a climax of the story, and now the grandfather of Victoria and the father of Amelia and Elizabeth appears. What else happens in this story? We will look back into the next part. Till then, goodbye.